up against the Queensland Firebirds. And as we mentioned at the top of the show, both these sides coming off a loss last week. Sam Pullman, it's danger time, isn't it? It's so close on the ladder at the moment. Teams cannot afford to slip out the back. This is a big win for these two teams.
Absolutely it is, and a really exciting match and a point in the season where you need to know how you're going. It feels like it was just round one, but if you keep thinking that way, it's round 10 before you know it.
Well, here is a reminder of how they'll line up. Harton and Dwyer, no shocks in that shooting circle. The dominance of Hay and Price and Parmenter, for that matter, in that midcourt. Branley and McDonald, a huge job on their hands. Leatherborough, the ex-Swift, Moore and Sliger on the bench.
And Firebirds lining up with their exciting attack line. We keep speaking about Wallam, Buetta, Dunkley, supported by Revillion and Simpson in the midcourt. And this really exciting up-and-coming player in Ruby Baker-Dawn in goal defence. Uso Brown in goalkeeper, and the substitute on the bench that we might see tonight.
Queensland Firebirds have been in such incredible form. They did have that loss last week, but aside from that, they really have been dominating, really explosive. One of my most exciting teams to actually watch in what they're producing. And I think they can feel that as well. You can sense a slight little confidence about them at the moment, can't you?
And so they should be. Their performance, yes, they might not have as many wins on the board, but what I'm liking is the individual athletes and how strong they are in each position, but how damaging they are is as a unit, and that's why Firebirds are going to be hard to beat tonight.
Well, there she is, Amy Parmenter. What a superstar she is in this Giants lineup, and she will be joining us on Centre Circle on Thursday night. So if you are a fan of Amy Parmenter or part of the Palmy Army, do not miss that show. Not far away, and it'll be Jamie Lee Price that'll get us underway. And I tell you what, that has got to be one. There is so many good matchups in this team, but that's got to be one of the best. The two leaders and two of the fittest. And as we mentioned, and I reckon it's something everyone needs to keep their eye on, is the physicality that this game is going to bring. It's notorious for it.
Absolutely, and no one wants to step down. That contest, that win for the ball, the want to get it. And it's exciting. These athletes spend so much time in the gym. They are strong, so they can certainly take the hits. It's just who does it, I guess, in the smart way.
Aha, the smart way. Who hides it from the umpires is what she's saying, everybody. All right, we're underway. And as we mentioned, it's the Giants with ball in hand. Bramley. Well, straight away, there's no easy access to the goal third. They get there now, the Giants.
Wing defence, contact with your arm, wing defence, top of the circle.
And there's the first of what's probably going to be many contacts in this encounter. Dwyer.
Fans, contact, centre!
Price. Oh, smart work, just to be patient to find Harton.
Goal shooter, take a step back.
And I think this is the difference between someone like Ruby coming up against Joe in that circle, is Joe is very smart, and you'll learn a lesson very quickly.
Without doubt, she's so crafty, isn't she? One of the smartest in the game, without doubt. That is going to be the common theme this game. Anything from anyone over the top to Wallam. The first of many for her too. Tilly McDonald has got a big job on her hands. Well, good tip coming from Kim Revillion. Look how quickly the Firebirds are down court, and again, it's direct. Very similar to the opening of the Magpies game last week. The intent was clear.
Her face gave it away then. She knew she'd had a footwork pull. But exactly right, the transition, there's no point in waiting. And a lovely intercept by Uso Brown then. And you can see the pace. That was a mistake pass. Yes, beautiful intercept. But this is where teams need to settle and make sure that this possession goes through the ring.
Well, this is where you were talking about how important that mid-court defence is, isn't it? Because you've got to slow it up well and truly before it gets to this point.
And you've got no hope if the ball's flying down the court that quickly.
Well, a couple of quick and easy mistakes made from Wallam. She may need to settle. So a stepping footwork call, and then the layup that went awry. And speaking of easy mistakes, there's another one. You don't often see that happen out of the hands of Amy Parmenter.
Hold time.
You watch her focus on getting this ball back now, though.
Taken.
Dunkley, Buweta. Back to Simpson.
Contact. Wing, centre third.
Well, nowhere to go. Forced over the top. And there's the person I was talking about, Amy Parmenter. Buweta to Ravalian. Buweta, nice little front cut. Forced her way through the gap. And whilst Wallam is a new player, very similar to the way Buweta and Romelda George used to play.
I think that's why she's such a great pickup for them. They're not recreating their style of play. She fits nicely in it, but I really want to acknowledge that she brings her own flair to it. They don't expect her to be a Romelda Aiken, George, but she certainly brings that same attacking style that they're used to playing, and so dominant at playing.
Oh, smart work from Buweta. There, well, she normally looks to Aiken or to the other shooter for that quick offload and double play. That wasn't to be, so she went elsewhere. Firebirds out 3-1. Dwyer. Well, the umpires are all over it early. I suspect they know, or
maybe they heard us.
Yeah, well, they probably have heard the stories, the legends about how feisty this game can get. Dunkley over the top, and that is a beautiful ball, and why Dunkley is having so many feeds this season.
And that's what we spoke about, the fact that she was able to see that vision to the post, no defensive pressure in the midcourt. Beautiful ball straight into the shooter.
Price. Harton, no easy way to the Giants' goal circle at the moment. But all they've got to do is be patient, and you can see Joe Harton is trying to encourage that. The ultimate poker face.
Contact, wing defense, outside.
Dwyer, sweet shot, gets them back to one. Dunkley. Oh, it's a dangerous ball, but if you're going to put it over the top of two defenders to anyone, why not the athletic Buweta?
Another footwork call. I'd hate to be a coach right now.
I'd hate to be a coach any given day, not just right now.
But I think this just shows the intensities there from each team. It's the team in this last section of the last 10 minutes of this first quarter who settle, and as you can see that physicality with both players on the deck.
There is so much going on off the ball at the moment. Players grabbing onto each other, trying to protect space, and that's what's happening. The errors are coming. So it's getting really scrappy. You just feel like the first team to just settle here.
Exactly.
Slow it down, have a breath.
And what that looks like is two options to the ball, making sure that you have clean leads to throw to.
We saw O'Brien. Hasn't she been a great pickup for the Queensland Firebirds? They lost Henchley from the off-season and were searching for somebody to fill the void. What a pickup, the English international. Rebellion. We saw O'Brien, Simpson. Long to Buweta, Rebellion. Well, those two will just keep going, won't they? Dunkley. Wallam thought about the layup again, but thought better of it that time. You could see she went to take the step and pulled it back. Dwyer, Price. Long to Hart. Swing across the circle. Hay missed the drive into the middle. Again, just nice and patient, waiting for the opening.
And they'll want to do that mismatch as the Giants attackers. They'll want to have Ruby Bakel-Dool on Joe Harton because it is a mismatch.
Dunkley, Rebellion. Looks just far sharper up this end of the court, doesn't it, the Queensland Firebirds in terms of their attacking move. Buweta. Doesn't like the offer she was given from Wallam, so swung to Rebellion. Smart work, Tilly McDonald. She was pushing Wallam high then for a moment, just let it go at the last minute.
I think she's done a really good job to start with in terms of her knowing that she's there. As we see another really simple call. with Sophie Dwyer breaking off the centre pass.
Simpson, Rebellion. Bueta. There it is to Wallen.
And sometimes if that goalkeeper role is a thankless task, you might not get that much hand on ball, but that continual pressure every time Wallen goes up to get a ball, that's what they want to do.
I remember Liz Ellis always saying that. She's like, you might not get a touch on the ball for 58 minutes, but if you can get one right at the end to win the game, that's all anyone's ever going to remember.
And that was the best mindset I ever had. It wasn't, you weren't going to get 20 intercepts in a game. It was the one ball that went short or the intercept that came, you had to be ready and make it yours.
Beautiful ball from Jamie Lee Price to Harton. She really had no other option, but she made it work. So the Firebirds still in control by 2, but it is a giant centre pass. Oh, well, again, gosh, the silly mistakes are free-flowing both sides at the moment. Just a drop ball from Dwyer. Tries a little cheeky tip from behind. Umpire's not having a bar of that early in this game. Bueta. Rebellion undefended. And another one on the board for Wallen. Now sitting 6 from 9. Bueta's got to go a long way back. Bakal-Doran. What a challenge. Oh, wow. It looked like Dunkley had 2 hands on that contest, but Amy Parmenter has come to play. Let's have a look at the Harvey Norman replay. Well, clearly the umpire's in a much better position than we are. You lost for words there, Sam Pullman.
Absolutely. I was about to acknowledge the fact that she'd shut down that second phase and it had to go back, and then because of that pressure came through, and her speed is the ability to get her ball, her hands on that ball.
Well, Sophie Dwyer would normally shoot those, but she really wants to make the most of it, make sure of these opportunities. So still 2 the difference. For the opportunity to make it 1 with the centre pass here, the Giants. Price. Harton. Again, nice and patient. Dwyer, yeah, this is the one she likes to shoot. That's her range. Backs it even. No, 1 the difference. Well, a nice little mix-up there. Danelle Wallen that time outside the circle, and Gretel Bueta in on the hold.
That's why they're so damaging, because if you get a shooter out, you think, yes, I've done my job, and then Bueta will just burn you herself.
Well, put it on the list of the ways they're damaging.
Absolutely.
Well, Bakal-Doran had done well, but the contact came from Usoro Brown. Dwyer, she's got the radar on, and 13 seconds she can start to reap the benefits of that. That's when it'll be our power 5. Amy Parmenter again is having an absolute blinder in this first quarter. Well, there it is, the siren to the start of power 5. So the Suncorp super shot in play in that white arc, all shots worth 2 points. Jo Harton happy to chip away. Well, we acknowledge the fact that Lara Dunkley was so important to this attack line for the Queensland Firebirds and had to be shut down. Amy Parmenter doing her job at the moment.
Absolutely, and I think that's because she's riding her that entire time. She's with her, she's tracking her, and when that intercept's coming, she's using her speed to go through and intercept the ball.
Well, the queen of the super shot, the miss, but the rebound comes through Sophie Dwyer and Julie Fitzgerald. I'm not sure what kind of face that is.
That was a smirk, wasn't it? Surely.
Well, they've taken a sneaky little lead here. The Giants up by 1, but not for long. 4 minutes to go in this opening quarter. And it is a must-win for these two sides to stay in the season, in the contest. Price. Hey. Well, Sophie Dwyer didn't want it, was trying to direct traffic. Dwyer. Yeah, all open. Oops, was Jake Lee Price. Apologies. Contact there, Kim Rebellion.
She wasn't happy about it. That's what Giants are looking for. They're waiting for that moment to open up to make sure that it gets through.
Yeah, it's certainly not looking as free-flowing to get down there, but they're very patient when they get to the edge of the circle.
And I think that's acknowledging because they throw so much ball away. A nice touch there from April Branley.
Well, look at the penalties early. We mentioned that over and over at the start of this game, the physicality, and it's the Queensland Firebirds. What a ball from Dunkley to Wallen. Couldn't make it sink, though. So an opportunity here for the Giants, who were trailing majority of this first quarter, and this is Sophie Dwyer's bread and butter. Well, now the super shot's in play, though. Couldn't make it stick. Dunkley, Simpson. Dunkley again. They've been forced into that pocket ball a lot, haven't they?
Which shows the Giants' defence in terms of that one-on-one hard work. This is a 60-minute match. Yes, you might not get too much ball in the first quarter, but imagine having a player every time you run, catch the ball on your back. Surely you're going to get tired at some point.
Well, it's an HCF timeout to the Giants. And it is level, so Julie Fitzgerald clearly has seen something she wants to nip in the bud right now. Let's see if we can catch exactly what that is. Jo Harton, always inspirational and fiery when she leaves that huddle. Julie Fitzgerald, though, wrapped with where they're at, did say we don't need the 2 pointers at this point, though.
Interesting, acknowledging to be a little bit smarter and get the 1 point on the board rather than risking it and putting yourself under pressure in that 2 point zone.
Well, let's not forget, we've got one of the greats of the game sitting on the sideline for us. Caitlin Bassett had an ear in the Firebirds huddle.
That's right. Megan Anderson straight away went over to Donnell Wellham, encouraging her just to post up and not let the movement that Tilly McDonald is doing off the body to get in her head.
Such a good point, because we did talk about that a lot, didn't we? She is moving around the body a lot, trying to put her off. And Wellham really doesn't have to adjust, does she? Let Tilly work herself out, get tired, leave her to it.
Exactly, let her tire herself out. But that's credit to the good work that Tilly is doing in goalkeeper. Wellham needs to stand strong, own that position, and not let that movement around her affect her.
Dwyer. Cross to Price. Well, had it on the right side, didn't they? The swing opened up, and there is Jo Harton.
And that's what she's so clever at. She'll get the defender on her back and open up the space. And if you're a defender, it's hard work against Jo Harton.
Oh, and again, just the timing on the movement, moving away from the ball, but it caught Ebony Usoro-Brown off.
And for me, that was the matchup today. The creativity that Jo Harton brings is so important in this match.
Well, Wallop fancies herself at the super shot, and that is wide.
Good. Well, good confidence to turn around. She missed her last one and go, you know what? I've got the ball here. I can sink it. Puts her team back in the lead.
Well, and there's a great little turnover, a held ball too. So another opportunity here for the Firebirds. Donnell Wallum is not lacking confidence in the super shot, though. She had 4 from 10 last week. Happy to put them up. Probably too happy to put them up. 10's a lot for your shooter when, I mean, if they're sinking, probably not. That's where she's good, though, under the post, posting up, delivering.
This is where it'll come into the game when you're smarts in a 5-point zone. When is it important to take that 2? When do you need to readjust and go to post? When do you not need to go long like that to a risky 2 Giants defenders on 1?
Oh, there it is, the siren, and that is the end of the first quarter. And what a fight it was. The Queensland Firebirds in control for the majority of it, and they take a 2-goal buffer into the first break.
The last couple, you guys playing it down that one side was really good. So keep that up. If you get too deep, and Melly then try and come back out. Up that sort of side.
Quarter time here, and the Queensland Firebirds in control. The crowd loving this contest. It's school holidays here in Sydney, and a lot of the folk have probably just stumbled across the road from the Easter show full of Dagwood dogs and fairy floss. Watch out, that sugar rush is about to kick in. And we certainly have got a game on our hands. Really interesting to listen to Megan Anderson in the huddle say they're bashing. We've just got to rise above it. At the moment, the penalty count is 17 to the Firebirds and only 11 to the Giants. So it's actually around the other way. But you mentioned before at the start of the game, it's about when they happen.
Yes, I agree. I think interesting from Megan talking about the attackers and the defenders from Giants getting those penalties. Stand strong, own it, don't let it go off what you're trying to do with your game.
Straight back into the action here, and Joe Harton out of the circle. Whoa, it was a dicey ball. And fortunately for Dwyer, another penalty against Usoro Brown. So the Giants get it back now, just won the difference. Guetta, Rebellion. Tilly McDonald, have a look at the work she's doing, but that's how you break it up, isn't it? Gretel Guetta takes that drive and it forces Tilly McDonald to come off the body.
It makes the defenders be accountable for a player. If they're doubling on the shooter, they've also got the goal attack in Bueta who can do a lot of damage, and a beautiful two-handed run and chase down, and look at Bueta finish it off.
How good. That was 2 passes from the intercept from Bakal Doran.
And no Giants to be seen.
No, not at all. Well, that's the thing, isn't it? It's about that transition. And again, it looks like the Firebirds in that passage of play undefended.
And for me, it's the work that you do early on. When Giants defenders are in a really good position, you see the Firebirds doing multiple passes. When they're not in a good position, the ball flies down the court.
That's obstruction offside,
To Dwyer. Swing across to Hay. Dwyer again, a nice little sweep across the front. Well, that one well and truly short. Strong rebound from Harton to finish it off. Dunkley. Guetta, there it is, the big jump pass, and dribbles in.
That's what I'd love to see more of. Gretel is so dominant in her feed and vision, and she's dominating the court, leading the Nissan net points right now. I'd be doing that more often. We see on the Harvey Norman replay, and a really strong take from Wollum, and a little bit of a, would we say, a little half layup to finish it off.
But how much do you put that down to the work that Tilly McDonald's doing around the body, though, that she hasn't been able to do that more often?
She shut her down quite early in the game, and I think she's done a lot of her homework. She just needs to keep that hassle going for the next couple of quarters, and she will get the rewards.
Well, from there, though, very hard to stop, and that's got to be the key for the Queensland Firebirds. Get it close to the circle,
and
to circle edge.
Yeah, that's the difference, is Lara Dunkley did a really nice second phase. We know she's really dominant in that easy feed on the ball. That's the difference between the last 2 plays for Tilly. Beautiful Beautiful baseline by Joe Hutton. And I love the feed from Maddie Hay. The eyes were down from Yusoro Brown, and that's the ability to burn the baseline like we've spoken about a couple of days ago to have.
We do have one of the best goal shooters in the game sitting on the sideline for us in Caitlin Bassett, so we might get down to her in regards to Donnell Wallam's game at the moment. When you've got that pestering defender like a Tilly McDonald, what do you do? How do you play it?
You've got to smile, Kath. You know that one as a shooter yourself. Look, it is their defender's game to try and put you off, and when you're getting pushed and shoved and beat around, the best thing you can do is hold strong and keep taking those balls like she's been doing nicely in this quarter.
Hey, Dwyer, Hey, Hart. Well, gosh, it was all lined up, wasn't it?
And that's when we speak about the creativity of Joe Hart and the defenders straight through the middle, but
well, your own team's got to be onto it too, though, don't they? There lies the issue. Have a look at the Harvey Norman replay here. The smarts, but straight over the top of her teammate in Dwyer, who was under the post by herself.
And normally she knows that ball's coming. Is this the effects of COVID? I feel like tonight a little tiny bit off in Dwyer. Is that the effects of the quick turnarounds?
Well, that
as Wallam's ball just look at her shaking her head.
Certainly thought about dropping, didn't it? Shooting stats 14 from 18 and that 1-for-1, that super shot. And again, she's making hard work of it for herself tonight. No need to step into the defender, no need to take the layups. Just keep it steady, get the points on the board. Then again, yes, I know, before you all go and abuse me on Twitter, she's a rookie, she's learning. And all these experiences will certainly help that.
They will, and this is where the experience of the season will come in. She'll learn this lesson tonight of when you have the opportunity to do those fancy things and when you need to just stop and steady.
Dunkley, Bueta, and smart ball from Bueta again, but just a little off balance for Wallam. Again, really just needs to steady her feet and finish the job. Tilly McDonald definitely doing the job on her at the moment. And it's an HCF timeout. Here's the Harvey Norman replay first. Beautiful ball over the top. Little off balance. And a good contest outside the circle as well. Is expecting the knocks to come, isn't she, from Tilly McDonald? So we'll just have a listen to Megan Anderson in the Queensland Firebirds huddle.
Circle, right? Little bit too much space. I don't know if you were, because if you go
I was running at the first one, she's dropped out, so I'll just go. Yeah.
much better. Yeah. Yes. Don't get caught in this pocket. So when you're sagging back, you're getting stuck there, and it's too hard to come back. If you're going to come back, get the head to the circle, and then you can come back at any angle. But that pocket's too hard. Good. Much better. So much better direction. Let's go. Here we go. Let's go.
There we go. We called this time out because we had a run. Now we run again. Let's go.
Push on 3, 1, 2, 3. Push on.
Well, fired up Queensland Firebirds, plenty of energy inside that huddle. And why would they not be feeling good about it at the moment? A 6-goal lead. This has been a 9-5 quarter so far, and still just under 10 minutes to play. Sophie Dwyer sitting on negative miss and net points. So it really does need to pick up her game as well for the Giants. There she is with ball in hand. Dwyer has to go a long way back to Branley. Hey, Dwyer again. Well, both the Queensland Firebirds defenders happy to sit inside the circle. Let Dwyer do the work outside and pick her up on entry.
That's being smart in identifying who's doing the damage right now, and that is Joe Hutton. So that's why the two defenders going back, going, Sophie Dwyer can't shoot outside the circle. Let's take up space and then pick her up as she wants to enter.
Dunkley over the top to Rebellion. Well, what a great bird's eye view that is. New to the coverage at Fox Netball this year, really lets you see what's happening on the court.
And great vision of Gretel Bueta there in the middle of the court. Interesting, Megan Anderson on the sideline saying they're getting you quite deep. Come to the middle, and straight away she's on court doing that.
Well, nice shot from Joe Hutton, but they've been few and far between Just the 6 this quarter for the for the Giants. Beretta right up the middle. Jo Harton, no issue when she gets the ball in her hand. Nor Sophie Dwyer. They just need more supply. Price to Hay. To Price. Well, when she does decide to stay with her, Bakewell-Doran, Sophie Dwyer really does struggle to get the ball as well.
And that's a credit to Bakewell-Dawn. If we look at her stats, she's already in 2 intercepts and 2 deflections, which can pick up.
Tilly McDonald. Gosh, she can do no wrong tonight. She's owning her own player, but she's also got the vision when to come off the body. That's hard to do, isn't it? To do 2 jobs like that.
So much guts to do that, but I feel like as we see, Amy Parmenter pick up another beautiful and crucial intercept for Giants.
Well, they've got to score off it though, as we talked about supply.
And do we see on the Hubby on replay, Tilly, look at her facials as she tries to take it over the sideline.
Well, there's Bakewell-Doran doing the job on Sophie Dwyer at the moment, which is interesting because at the moment, Kim Jenner standing on the sideline. You can just see in the back of play there with the goal defence bib on. So there's potentially a swap, positional swap, a rolling sub coming. There she is. And she is also very physical, loves the contest, loves to tag and be in your face.
She's another great matchup for Dwyer. She has the ability to wear you down, really great speed, and can pick up ball in really crucial times for her team. Really interesting change. I would like to maybe see Ruby Bakewell-Dawn go back in goalkeeper to try and shut down that Jo Harton.
Well, that may be about to happen. It'll have to be a quick change, though. As you see the Firebirds, speaking of quick, up the court, and it's another ball that's not just right. And Tilly McDonald is all over it at the moment.
And that's that great pressure and work she did in that first quarter that now she's getting the hand on ball and the intercepts are coming her way.
Caitlin Bassett, did you hear anything coming from head coach Megan Anderson about the change she's made in the defence end?
Look, I think it's about keeping legs fresh. The key to shutting down the Giants' attack end is to make Sophie Dwyer work hard outside the circle. So I expect to see plenty of interchanges between Kim Jenner and Ruby Bakewell-Doran tonight.
Well, Ruby Bakewell-Doran started the job, didn't she? And as you say, Kim Jenner, very physical. She's come on to continue it. That was a better play from the Queensland Firebirds.
That's a luxury of having so much depth, and we spoke about it in pre-game. The coaching decisions of how to make sure you're rotating and keeping people fresh on the court so they can do their job.
A little bit of confusion here about whose centre pass it is. Queensland Firebirds will take it. Dunkley, Jenner, Dunkley, Beretta. Long ball into Wallam, and again with the step in, and again the miss. Danelle Wallam still getting plenty of numbers, but just lacking a little bit of the accuracy that she's had in the first few rounds.
We've seen that she can shoot from range, so I'm not sure why she just doesn't steady, take a breath, take the shot, rather than overextending herself, having the defender challenge her for a rebound.
Rebellion, Dunkley, Rebellion, Beretta. Little fumble, but quick enough to gather. Jenner, Rebellion. Dunkley patiently waiting for Beretta on that occasion. Spooked by the previous lob she tried to put into Wallam. There's a siren, power 5 time. Oh yeah, Jo Harton, I thought she was going to pass that out and try to go for a Suncorp super shot. Decided against it. April Bramley, a penalty a long way from the circle. So Queensland Firebirds are 2-in-1. They want to get it there direct or line it up. No, it's a pass off. Well, I wouldn't have been surprised if Beretta took that. She was 5 from 5 for Suncorp super shots last week, 100%. Harton, Dwyer. Well, they're going to have to go for them now. We heard Julie Fitzgerald say you don't have to take the twos. At what point do you have to take the twos?
Knowing Jo Harton, beautiful. Once again, defenders' eyes down, 1-2 to Sophie Dwyer. We know they're capable of doing it, so you can see off play here, Joe Hart making sure that Kim Jennings got a hard time to get back on court and attack. But they need to. This game goes way too quickly if they want to get back in. They need ball, and then they need to start getting some scoreboard pressure.
Well, it's out to 6, and they'd like to narrow that gap before half-time, which is just over 3.5 minutes away. There it is again, our bird's eye view. What a great shot to see exactly where the players start, their movements, where they end up. Okay. Price. A good challenge coming from the captain, Kim Ravalian. Dwyer, Price. Joe Harton through the hands. Again, a lot of uncharacteristic errors coming. You don't often see Joe Harton drop a ball, and you can see by her face that she was not impressed with herself.
No, and is this the reflection that we spoke about being there? They just played a Super Netball game a few days ago. Firebirds have got on a plane. Giants have got on a plane back to Sydney. Super Netball game, 60 minutes. It's intense.
Well, it's intense, and it's not going to get any easier because they play again this weekend. 3 games of netball in 7 days for these teams. That is a challenge, particularly when COVID's rearing its ugly head. Good pocket ball over to Jamie Lee Price. Dwyer, well, she had the hot hand early. She's got it back. Standing up to the challenge. Suncorp super shot. Real Puetta, Ravalian. Wallen, no stranger to this part of the goal circle, but that one flat. So big chance here for the Giants. If they can get it down and get a super shot, it's a very reasonable margin heading into half-time. And the hot hand of Sophie Dwyer gets the job. Well, it's in the one. What will Joe Harton do here? No, she doesn't want one. I don't want one. Are you crazy? I'm going for 2. And she nails it. That's why she has been labelled the queen of this super shot for the last couple of seasons. It's not so much about sinking them, it's the timing of it with Joe Harton. Well, that isn't... Oh, I was about to say an opportunity gone begging, but no. The Giants have kept possession. To the difference, just over 1 minute to play. Hey. Dwyer, got to get inside the circle. In the one, and she's happy to take it now. That'll get them back to 1. Puetta. Dunkley. Puetta. There it is, just a little...
That's what they need at this point, making sure that they get that ball safely inside the circle and continue that pressure rather than taking a risky 2 and giving the other team the possession.
Price. Oh, a smart tip from Usoro Brown, and it's Kim Jenner that picks up the crumbs.
So clever. You know that Joe Harton wants the ball in 2-point zone. That's where I would be standing as a defender.
Well, quick one. That's how quickly the Queensland Firebirds can score. It was down to 1 before. They've now got it out by 3 in the blink of an eye. And there's your turnovers. So they're blown out a little bit for the Giants. Goals from turnover. Very positive for the Queensland Firebirds. And how quickly they've got that margin back to a comfortable one right on the siren of halftime here at Kent Rosewell Arena. The Queensland Firebirds won that first quarter 15-13, and that second quarter was a draw, 18 apiece. Still really not smooth sailing coming from either team though at the moment. No doubt the coaches will have plenty to say to their troops when they get hold of them in this break. Well, let's get down now to Caitlin Bassett, who's with one of the stars for the Giants in that opening half.
Tilly, huge first opening half against the shooting machine that is Donnell Wallam. How did you focus and what did you train on this week to make sure you can shut her down?
Yeah, I think just as a unit, we focused on trying to get the ball up earlier before it gets to her. And for me personally, just getting my feet around and changing my angles and trying to get up with her in the air. Credit to her, she's a great shooter. So yeah, just trying everything we can.
And you came back hard in that last 5 minutes. Tell me what you need to do in the second half to get this win.
Yeah, I think defensively we just need to get more ball, keep working hard in attack. We really need to cherish it. And yeah, just keep bringing the ball through.
No worries. Keep it up. You're doing a fantastic job, mate.
Thanks, Legend.
Welcome back to Fox Netball and round 4 Tuesday night action for something a little different. The Queensland Firebirds in control of this game against the Giants, currently leading by 4. And it's been an up and down game to say the least. Fairly error-ridden, but there's been some patches of brilliance, as you alluded to, Sam Pullman, in our halftime chat, and you have certainly been impressed with the likes of Tilly McDonald.
I have. As a former goalkeeper, it's always really nice to see her come up and do a great job against one of the most exciting shooters and dominant shooters so far in this season. Her ability to continue to pressure and use her footwork and make doubt in the feeder's mind. Yes, she doesn't have the stats on the board yet. However, the defensive unit has, and I think the pressure will continue to build in this second half.
Well, the Queensland Firebirds are winning this game by 4, so plenty of good stuff going on there as well. Gretel Bulwetta, one of the most impressive, sitting on 53 missing net points, hasn't missed a shot, and she has the most goal assists out of the whole side, and it's a lot. She's sitting on 13 goal assists at the moment. The next best, Dunkley, with 8. So continues just to dominate in every department of the court, does Bulwetta. I said at the start of the game, in my next life, I wanted to come back as her. I still do.
Wouldn't it be nice?
It rings true.
Doesn't she just look like she's having a great time? We can see that. This is half time in a really pressured match, and here she is chatting and enjoying herself with her other attacking. So is it that easy?
Well, I've got to mention too, it is actually her first trip away without her beautiful little boy Bobby, and apparently that's been quite emotional for her, as you can understand, but she's certainly not letting that show on court tonight. I doubt that Megan Anderson will be completely thrilled with what she's seeing from the Queensland Firebirds, although they're in a winning position. What is it that do you think she'll be wanting from her side?
Just those glimpses of really good play to continue. I think their eyes up in defence so that crafty play of the Giants doesn't get through. And just being strong in their attack line and giving the ball when they see it.
Massive change has been made for the Giants. Maddie Hay to the bench, Amy Sliger on. Hay certainly wasn't herself, I wouldn't have thought, just sitting on 2.5 missing net points. Do you think that's the reason for that change, or do you reckon there's more to it, Sam?
Well, I think we questioned Julie in her coaching decision after last week's game, in an athlete looking, Jamie Lee Price looking tired and making errors and still being on the court. So maybe she's trying to get to it early in this match, and Amy Sliger can play all 3 positions, and we've seen her come on and really be dominant in her feeds in the circle.
Well, instead of doing all the maybes, let's get down to their head coach, Julie Fitzgerald, and we can actually ask her. Jules, really intrigued to see the change made between Maddie Hay and Sliger. What are you hoping to see from that one?
We've got a couple not feeling well, so we're hoping that a little break a week we'll be able to bring them back in again later in the game.
Jules, is that the after effects of COVID still?
Who knows? We don't seem to be able to take a trick at the moment.
And Lauren Moore coming in the game as well, Jules. I felt like the defensive unit were doing a great job. You confident that she'll continue that job in the second half?
Oh, look, I certainly hope so. As I said to you, April's not feeling too well. I'm hoping that she'll recover and maybe be able to come back into the match. But Lauren's been training really, really well with us. She's a very capable player. She should be able to fill that spot for us.
I absolutely agree. What was your message at half-time to the Giants?
Oh, look, I really think it's just the little things. We've just made silly little errors at crucial times, and we're well and truly in this game, and we just have to make sure we clean that up.
Well, Jules, thanks for your time. We'll let you get back to it, mostly because that headset looks ridiculous on you. I'm allowed to say that. She's an ex-coach and good friend of mine. Well, meanwhile, the Queensland Firebirds have got it out to 5 now, and Wallam confident to make that 6. So in control of this third quarter. Really sad to hear, though, that the Giants still struggling with sickness. And Julie's saying she's not entirely sure what it is, so it may not be the after effects of the COVID that's gone through the camp. Let's hope they are feeling better, because it's a big week of netball and they need all their troops on the ground. Fitting well. Beretta. Little jump pass over to Wallen. And that's where she's good, when she just steadies and delivers the shot. So, wow, it's blowing out really quickly here. The Giants have got to find something in the tank. It's out by 7 to the Queensland Firebirds. Could be 8, and it is.
Really smart play from Wallen there. I think we can see a shift in her play already on court.
Well, no doubt that would have been something that head coach Megan Anderson got to. Well, wheels, I was about to say, fallen off a little bit here. Some good defensive work coming from Usoro Brown.
Instruction on fence, just inside the circle. Yes. Just inside. Contact, goalkeeper with the net.
Another penalty against Usoro Brown, who was really heavily penalised last week. Not too bad at the moment, just 4. Beretta. Simpson. Well, misunderstanding between the two, Rebellion and Simpson. Little tip on the ball there too, coming from Wallen. Parmenta couldn't keep it in, and it's back in the hands of the Queensland Firebirds. Oh, surely there's a timeout coming soon if they score again here, the Queensland Firebirds.
There has to be. You see the fatigue in. No one ran to Amy then to back her up as she was falling out of court.
Well, not just yet. Maybe Julie Fitzgerald's thinking, what can I do anyway? Again, another turnover. There's the frustration on the head coach of the Giants. What does she do? The turnover's now starting to blow out as well. Well, there it is. We thought it might have come a little bit earlier, but it'll be an HCF timeout to the Giants. What do they do? What do they address first? They may not have the personnel on the bench to make the changes if there's sickness. Let's have a listen to Julie Fitzgerald.
Guys, you just need to breathe and settle. One mistake doesn't have to lead to 3, 4 or 5, all right? Take a deep breath, get back straight into it. As soon as we make a mistake, win ball back, all right? Make sure that you start going back to the things that we were doing so well. We were short, we were quick, we were on our man, we were fighting to the ball. We need that back again, all right?
Stay up.
Just do your thing.
All right, every week you know all right? And be very careful.
Here we go, bring it in for one time.
More room at the back, all right?
We're doing things physically correct, but we've got to connect it up here, yeah? So driving it all the way through. Put a fake on, put a dodge on, and we're going to free flow that ball down. But we've got to do it all together. We've got to lift it. It's a big lift required right now. Here we go.
Bring confidence.
Let's go. Giants on 3, 1, 2, 3, Giants! Let's go.
Well, you heard it from the captain. There's a big lift required right now. Let's get down to Caitlin Bassett, who had an ear in the Firebirds huddle, and also some news maybe on April Brandley.
Yeah, look, Firebirds first. They seem pretty calm in their huddle. Just talk about maintaining this momentum and riding the storm. They're doing a great job of picking up ball in their defensive end, so they want to keep that up. And down the other end, I've just been having a little look at April Brandley. She's sitting a little bit further away from the other girls on the bench with the physio at one point, and she does not look too well. So, you know, would love to see her back out there on court, but understand why the change has been made to bring Lauren Moore on.
Sitting with the physio, Caitlin, do we think it's an injury as opposed to an illness?
Look, it's hard to say. I think you don't have a doctor on the bench with you all the time. So, you know, Gemma does have medical experience, and she would be the one to go sit with April if it is something medically related.
All right, thank you for keeping us across all of that. Poor Giants can't take a trick, as Julie Fitzgerald said, but Joe Harton still wants them to fire up and put out a good performance here. It's out to 10 now, a big ask, but two of the best super shotters in the game, they can get this margin back soon.
And Giants are so known for that we can close and come back in a match with the ability of the power of the super shot, but leading from Joe asking for more energy and to lift.
Over the top to Danelle Wallen. I sense they're finding that a little easier. Do you get that feeling?
I think so. It's going in quicker and a little bit easier, and the doubt's not there anymore.
A long ball. Great take from Joe Harden, but couldn't keep it in. And look at the frustration. Lifts the shoulders up. That was one big breath that was just let go.
And you see on the replay there, just a bit too much on it. And not like Joe to not flick a ball into court.
Oh, Sophie Dwyer. Well, she wanted, Joe Harden wanted the team to lift, and Dwyer is up for it. Need to score here, though, the Giants. Who's going to be available? It's the one-handed take that is synonymous with the captain, Joe Harden. They get one back. Still some work to do. Here's the Harvey Norman replay as we see that beautiful intercept. Snuck around the corner, Sophie Dwyer. Dunkley, well, and it's snow on it, that pass. Well, they're finding the mismatch now, aren't they? And that's why that ball's going in so much easier.
A lot easier, and I think they've identified the new combination of Lauren Moore coming on and really exploiting the fact that they don't have Bradley on the court anymore.
Which is interesting, because you'd think with fresh legs, Moore would be doing more damage at this point.
I agree, but Buhueta is an incredible athlete and very hard to stop. It's hard to come on. You have to take risks. If you've got the opportunity to wear a bib, Lauren Moore needs to get in there and get hand on ball.
Yes.
Interesting, you see in the back line, April Branley on the back on the bike, and Gemma, the physio, going over and continuing to check on her. So I'd say they're just monitoring and see if they can bring her back in the game.
Yeah, staying warm, so that might be part of the plan. There she is on the bike, so hopefully keeping warm with the idea that she'll be back in the contest in a minute. Speaking of contest, good one between Buhueta and Jamie Lee Price. Buhueta, swing across to Dunkley, Wallam, Rebellion. Wallam again. Well, they keep it alive, and that's the, well, I was about to say the importance of making sure the midcourt don't run too far away from the circle.
And I love that, points to the back going, hey, Price just shoved me in the back, that's why I went offside.
Well, the umpires did say that we could refer to them by name this year, and they were going to do the same, so why not? Point it out, see if you can get away with it. Hay, Price, Hay, Dwyer. Hay back in and on the court. Little change with Sligo we saw just momentarily. Parmenter. Oh, uncharacteristic errors.
And you see all three of the coaching staff from the Firebirds on their feet. They're excited, they're providing that energy, whereas I feel like Giants are a little bit flat and not responding.
Well, I think they're just so deflated by the events of the game so far, aren't they? Dropping players with sickness. And speaking of deflating, that was the perfect face from Julie Fitzgerald, a big sigh. What do we do? Well, they keep battling, and that's exactly what Joe Hart was trying to get them to fire up and do. It's only 10 the difference. Couple of Suncorp super shots in just over 30 seconds or 40 seconds, and they can get themselves easily back in this contest. Buhueta. Long ball over the top to Wallam. And even that pass, letting it go from a lot further away now. That confidence is still there and alarmingly maybe growing.
And that's the credit to shorting it up and doing the safe work. It allows them to take the risks and open up later.
Dwyer, hey, Dwyer, nice move, nice play from the Giants. That was one of their best without doubt this game. Quick hands. Well, April Bradley is back on the court. So feeling a little better and good timing, because there's the Suncorp Super Shot Power 5.
And And the umpire's called stepping on Buetta. So Giants have another opportunity here.
Well, 3 steps now in this game. A couple of weeks ago, the hell ball was the flavour of the night.
Step around, step around.
So this is a really important period now for the Giants. As we know, both of these players capable of draining from that white arc. Number 1 and number 2 in the competition last year. Rings out for Dwyer. And it's a timeout, an HCF timeout for the Queensland Firebirds. What's the bet? This chat is around how do we stop that Suncorp super shot, because they know the Giants are now in a position where they have to go to it. Let's have a listen and see what if that's what's coming from Coach Megan Anderson.
Yep, you're going to get some extra movement and then we'll put it back. Yep, good. All right, it'll make it easy. Let's do it. Go 6 for 5 minutes. 5 minutes, yeah. Let's go. Let's go. Stay positive. Let's go. Get connected out there. Let's go. Enjoy this. Yeah, so much. Yeah. Grab the ball, go for it. Let's go. Fake it. Put it in. Just to give. Grab. Yeah. That's our whole job. Let's go. Nice fly. Show up here. 1, 2, 3. Show up. Let's go. Let's go.
Well, I didn't hear it from Megan Anderson, but Claire Ferguson was down having a very good chat with the defence and their defensive specialist assistant coach. How do you tackle it as a defensive unit if you're trying to stop the super shot, Sam?
It's a tough one. The positive for them is they know that Giants are going to want to get that point in the zone. It's all about your positioning. So as a defender, you need to be in that zone and be comfortable with the ball going near the post.
Caitlin Bassett, let's get down to you, because I'd love to know if the instruction from Julie Fitzgerald was get in the white arc and shoot some super shots.
Yeah, look, there was a lot of instructions from Jo Harton versus Julie Fitzgerald out there. She was telling her players that they needed to be getting that ball in. She's ready for that, and to look for the short pass as well. There's a little short pass in front of you that's open, but Julie Fitzgerald was telling her players she doesn't want to see any distance between a purple dress and an orange dress, so she wants to see tight body-on-body play.
Well, easy one over the top. Great setup from Danelle Wallen. Chips away, another one on the board, and it's a Queensland Firebird centre pass. That is a frustrated face on the head coach of the Giants, Julie Fitzgerald. Oh, screamer! Tilly McDonald still got something in the tank. Well, it was a first half all about that action. Haven't seen much in this one, and she's got it right at the right time. They now need to score off this, though, the Giants. Suncorp super shot here will get them back to 7, and it's their centre pass to follow. This has got to sink for Dwyer. Well, it doesn't, but she cleans up the rebound, and she's going to take the one. They go looking for another one here. Jo Harton doesn't want to take it. Fascinating. Fascinating.
And that's the risk that you go by, is losing possession. If you keep trying to go for that and it doesn't nail.
Caitlin Bassett.
How would Jo not want to take that super shot?
That's why I'm coming to you. What do you think that's about?
Look, I think Sophie Dwyer has definitely had a lot of confidence to shoot from that range today. But yeah, I'm really surprised. Jo Harton, normally that cool head in there, but maybe she's a bit put off at the moment. Evie Brown is doing a great job defending that shot at the moment.
Jo Harton has not missed a shot in regular time. 20 from 20. If you're not feeling confident sitting at 100%, when are you going to? She's 1 of 2 from super shot range. Here's the opportunity. Well, it was a little flat, but a very important rebound from Sophie Dwyer, who has now got herself off the shot. She's sitting 16 from 22 now, Sophie Dwyer, so her stats have dropped considerably. My, over the top, and that is a great take from Wallam. It wasn't a pinpoint pass. Firebirds by 11. Mai again on the edge of the circle. Well, now Gretel Boetta wants the super shot. She wants a 2-point shot, even though they're up by 11. That's just greedy.
That's confidence, isn't it?
Well, again, Mai undefended, so they've been able to find someone to get the ball off to quite easily. Giants need to shut that down. Julie Fitzgerald was asking for no distance between a purple and an orange dress. Too much then. Hey. Long to Dwyer. Price. Gabby Simpson out of play outside the circle. So Hay with the ball, Price. Dwyer again. Well, this will be her 5th attempt and not falling for them at the moment.
And her natural shot isn't as fluent as what it normally is, and we've spoken about her being so quiet during this match. It's so hard to get the ball back if you're not nailing your shots.
17 seconds to go in this third quarter. The Queensland Firebirds currently leading at 18-10. Well, we mentioned this at the start of the show, didn't we? Being forced into these super shots to try and bridge the gap. The Giants this season, and that gap continues to grow. It's a frustrated coach in Julie Fitzgerald. She'll have plenty to say as the Queensland Firebirds lead by 12.
And that sideline, you come down there so she doesn't have to find you.
Down that side.
Pardon?
You're coming down that side.
Step on your side, all right? So you're right of her, you're left of her, all right? And then if one gets it, the other one's got to work out whether they've got room to come in or come to the middle, all right? But stay on your side. You're getting a little bit now so that you're just jumping at ball. You're not
Three-quarter time here, brought to you by Origin Energy. And you can see the score down the bottom of your screen. Queensland Firebirds in a very comfortable position as they head into this final quarter, currently leading by 12. Some work to do for the Giants, no doubt, Sam Pullman. Let's talk about a couple of the matchups, though, that we highlighted at the start of this game. Jamie Lee Price on Kim Ravallion, two of the leaders of their respective clubs. How have you seen that one play out?
A really physical battle, which is what we expected. But for me, I think Rebellion has got this win over Jamie Lee Price. She's got 92.5 Nissan net points compared to Jamie Lee's 26.5. And for me, the reason is turnovers. Jay's sitting at 6 turnovers compared to Rad's 2.
The other one that we spoke about was, of course, Gabby Simpson on Maddie Hay. Gabby Simpson sitting in the negatives for Nissan net points, but she doesn't have to have intercepts. All she's got to do is shut down Hay, and she's been annoying. She's done that job, hasn't she?
And I will talk all day about somebody that does their job for the team. Yes, she might not look specky in terms of the stats, but she's certainly shut down a key role in the feed by Maddie Hay for the Giants.
Well, that's two big wins in those two matchups, and that's why the Queensland Firebirds see themselves where they are. So, well, it's an off-the-ball contact call, so the umpires have got their eyes on absolutely everything, and there are the penalties as a result. 47-30.
Which is really high for Firebirds. Imagine if they stayed in play a little bit more, the more ball and opportunity they would get. I would suggest this is something that they'll look at before their next match.
Dwyer. Hay. Price. Well, Hart in the strong drive after. Didn't give her the ball. Now they find her, and again, it's that beautiful one-handed take. And that's one back. Back to 10, and there's your last 10 goals. Well, good little patch for the Giants. And boy, they needed it. the crowd don't like that. You can hear the boos in the background. A contact on Bramley. Another one on McDonald. Little Buweta has been amazing as we just see the pass over there on the Harvey Norman replay. 11 from 11 from Buweta. Not massive numbers, but she has done her job. She doesn't need massive numbers. If you look at Ron with 41 from 48.
Contact. Beside her. Yes.
Simpson. All squashed in the middle there, the Queensland Firebirds. Buweta, big step in, and that'll be an easy finish for her. Stacey Marinkovic will be loving the form she's seeing from Griddle Buweta ahead of her Com Games. That's a great ball down court to find Jamie Lee Price on the edge of the circle for the Giants.
We see on the Harvey Norman replay, you saw Brown again out of play. She's one of the highest penalised on court, so she's going to have to start adjusting.
Dwyer, Price. Over the pocket to Dwyer again. Isoro Brown doing a great job on Joe Harton. Just can't find her at the moment. Well, and then they do, and the touch on the pass, not right. Queensland Firebirds come up with yet another ball. Oh, they're just finding new and unusual ways to spoil it, though, aren't they?
The ball.
Both sides. Oh, and there's another one. I can't bear to look at Julie Fitzgerald's face. I'm gonna keep my eyes diverted. My mind. Buweta. And dribbles in. That is not a happy coach. 5-all though in this final quarter, so it was a good start from the Giants, but they've just let it slip again. The Queensland Firebirds back into the contest.
Step forward. Step forward. Yes.
Buweta, Buweta with the big jump in, takes up valuable space. Joe Harton. Well, that's her first miss in regular time. Was 25 from 25, just the one miss now.
Watch the speed of this ball transition down court from the Firebirds. They're in control the entire time while Giants defence are in chase mode.
Is it worth throwing a penalty earlier on in the play to try and stop that? I mean, without encouraging that sort of behaviour.
Well, you've got to put yourself in a position to be able to do the work early, and I think this is where the fatigue showing. There's uncharacteristic errors coming in, and then defenders not doing the work. They're just in chase mode. So, yes, but when you stand out of play, you also one play down.
Wallum out of the circle again, that mix-up. Haven't seen it a whole heap in this game, but the times we have, it has worked beautifully.
For me, this is where Firebirds will be dangerous in the season. If you shut down one player, it opens up another.
Well, we spoke about that right at the start of the game, didn't we? Both can do enormous amounts of danger, Buweta and Wallum. Wallum, well, they're finding that a lot easier now. The touch, the feel of the game, but also probably a tired Tilly McDonald who did a lot of work running around the body at the start. That is a good position for her to be in behind Wallum. A brilliant take, though. Oh, Parmenta. She's still got something left in the tank.
Whole time. Yep.
Missing net points. Queensland Firebirds looking very healthy. They won't get near their record missing net point score that they had against the Sunshine Coast Lightning. That was over 600. But he's certainly going to be a difference between themselves and the Giants.
And a beautiful tip there by Carmento on the replay there. It's just not enough. We're seeing glimpses of really good stuff from the Giants, but also really fatigued as we see Wallam take to the bench. And Moore impacts the game really well, getting hands on ball. The Nissan net points, we see Rebellion dominating. We touched on that matchup, and we can see by the Nissan net points, I think she's the engine and the real driver of this Firebirds team, and I've really liked what she's done this afternoon.
Wallam takes a well-earned rest to the bench, and Stour now on to finish it. Jamie Lee Price. Price again. Dwyer Harton. Good quick ball movement between the two shooters and the standoff. Hand on ball. Ball on way to shot. What's the umpire going to call here? Timeout, the HCF timeout to the Queensland Firebirds. Interestingly, given the position that they're in at the moment, that they would even go to one, but clearly Megan Anderson's still got plenty of things that she wants to work on, and things now might be the time. 7 minutes to go, let's have a listen.
You guys, lots of shooting to do that. So if Mia comes out, you've got to get in and we can like work that round, yeah? A lot in there. Let the ball do the work. We need to set triangles. Yeah. And if you come together in the circle, talk to each other so you know who's holding and who's popping. Yeah. Because normally it's both of you. Oh, hold, you hold. Yeah. Good on you. Let's go. Now, come on, let's go. Oh, amazing. Come on, let's go, Jenny. Finish it. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go.
Stour, the job to do to finish this game. Hasn't had a heap of court time, understandably, behind Bowetta and Wallam. So she'll bring those fresh legs, with coaches keeping in mind that they do have a very quick turnaround, another game to be played this weekend. 16-goal lead at the moment, the Queensland Firebirds. Jenna, nothing coming forward, back to Simpson. Bowetta again. Rebellion, hasn't she been rock solid? 112 missing net points to the engine room, as you say. And the captain of the Queensland Firebirds, an offensive contact, Gretel Bowetta. And really at this point, the Giants have just got to finish with some pride. There's the Harvey Norman replay. Couldn't really pick up too much what happened there, but the call came. $16 goals in 6 minutes, Sam, with a super shot. Doable.
Giants netball? Yes.
Love that. Let's see how close they can get. There's the quarter breakdown. The Giants down by 2 in the first and the second. Then it was a big 8-goal one in the third. Firebirds taking control of this one as well after the Giants snuck away early in the last. Rebellion Stour. This is when Gretel Bowetta will pick it up, won't she? No Wallam now, so she'll become the go-to. Price. Dwyer. Price. Joe Hart pointing. I don't want it. Give it to Dwyer. Now she becomes available. 16 seconds away from Power 5 time, and the all-important Suncorp Super Shot will be in play. play, courtesy of the post. And there it is, the siren. So the Giants have some work to do here. That will be the intent. It has to be. They have got a big gap to try and close quickly. Harden got to get inside the circle. Now, no options for the Giants.
And that's a risk that you play when you start moving the ball around looking for something.
That's not a Giants attack line I've seen before either. In those moments, Joe Hart would be pushing everyone out of the way to be in the circle in that arc.
Yet was on the outside of the circle.
Yeah, it was on the outside of the circle, exactly. Berwetta. Well, it's their centre pass. So now's the time to put into action what they are so good at. Sophie Dwyer, the first opportunity to do so, and they're just not falling. That's 1 from 7 for her in the Suncorp Super Shot. Not forgetting Suncorp donating $100 to the Confident Girls Foundation for every Suncorp Super Shot that falls in the game tonight and across the weekend. And Mia Stour wants to contribute to that. There it is, cha-ching.
What an entry to the court for her.
Well, not the side, though, that needs to be draining the super shots, is it? Now out by 17. And all happened in the second half of this contest between these two sides that were both desperate for a win here to get their seasons back on track. After losses last week, Harden, well again, Joe Harden would normally shoot that.
I think it's credit to the Firebirds defenders. They have made this very hard work today for the Giants attack line. And it's interesting because the more you make Joe Harden angrier, the more she steps up and nails them on you.
Well, usually that's what happens, yes.
Whereas today, off, not quite there, not as dominant as we know she is as she sinks a super shot.
Well, that's what she's capable of, and she's got to do it more, so I'm surprised we haven't seen that sort of attack of the super shot earlier.
And the demand for the ball.
Exactly. It's not over yet, though. Still 2 minutes to play. It's going to be a tough ask, sure, but we know these two are so capable of that, Dwyer and Hart. But they've got to get the ball down court. Well, can she go 3 from 3? Joe Hart, she can! Still no smile on Julie Fitzgerald's face. Well, if nothing else, they want to be competitive in this final quarter. They still find them, well, it's drawn. It's even in this final quarter, 16 apiece. They can take something away from it if they can win this last quarter, Sam.
They can, and there's a dominance on the scoreboard of the ladder too. It's so tight in Super Netball. You need to get your percentage back. They need to finish and start keep chipping away at this scoreline.
Caitlin Bassett, where do you think Joe Harten's been this contest?
Yeah, look, it's interesting to see her only finally putting up the super shots now. What my biggest question is who's there on the bench? You know, we haven't seen Sophie Dwyer firing with the super shot. She's dropped down percentage-wise. Who else is there that can take the court and really do the job? And Matisse Leatherbarrow is there, but I don't know if she's actually ready to get out there at this stage. So that's probably a bigger question for the Giants at the moment.
Well, it is such a good point. There's only 10 contracted players in each of these sides. So really, if something happens to one of their big guns, they can struggle. There's Leatherbarrow on the bench. Not to say she's not a great player, but lacked time at this level, absolutely. Firebirds again. Quick. Stour. Oh, no, over the top to Berwetta. They don't need to go looking for the twos, the Queensland Firebirds. Up by 15. Leading this final quarter by 2. Jo Harten, can she change that? She can. Well, nailed 4 of them in just a couple of minutes, Jo Harten. 12 seconds to go in this game. The margin 13. super shot, can't make it fall. The story of the night. Megan Anderson slaps the hands together. There are some very happy coaches and players in the Queensland Firebirds. 13 goal victors over the Giants. And certainly was not the Giants' night tonight. Sam Pullman, it's been a quick turnaround in between games. It doesn't get any easier. They've got some work to do, which is probably going to be the issue with little time to address the situation.
And that's where the honest conversations come from. The recovery is key, making most of the few days you have, because this doesn't get any easier. It's super netball.
Well, still some smiles on the face of Amy Parmenter. Let's just hope that, at the very least, the Giants players are well for their next game in just a couple of days. That's round 5. That'll be happening on the weekend. And the Giants will be up against the Magpies. They will be at home. That could be a saving grace for them. They don't have to travel. It's another home game. There's definitely some honest conversations starting already there in that huddle. You can see it. Joe Harton, an inspirational leader. And pretty good on the shots in terms of accuracy tonight. Let's get down to Caitlin Bassett, who's with the MVP tonight.
Sorry, we're just having a little bit of a chat here. Congratulations, Kim Rebellion, on the win tonight. A great game from you personally. We talked about the matchup between you and Jamie Lee for us before the game. You were in everything. Tell us what it felt like down courtside for you.
I may have been in everything, but I also had so much support around me. I thought there was plenty of leads out there on the court, which made my job easy to get the ball into the shoes.
And you got a little bit of a blood lip there. Tell us about that.
In the last 2 minutes, I accidentally ran into Jamie's shoulder.
You must be pretty happy with your team's performance tonight. You were solid across all 4 quarters. You're heading home for your next match against the Thunderbirds. What do you need to do in the next few days to make sure you're ready to go for that game?
We just need to continue that consistency and putting in that full 60-minute effort, and I think that belief is growing and should be a good contest on Sunday against the T-Birds.
Well, congratulations on the win. Enjoy it with your teammates.
Thank you.
Thank you to Caitlin. Thank you to the captain of the Firebirds, Kim Rebellion. There is a very happy side as they welcome back their leader. They will most definitely be pleased with that performance. They won every quarter. They built across the game. Did lapse a little in that 4th, but they still won it after a big challenge from the Giants to start it. Megan Anderson, plenty of positives. Take us through the stats here. Shooting accuracy, the first thing that I've noted there, not where it needs to be for the Giants, Sam.
No, it isn't, and something that we have discussed throughout the entire game. Interesting to see that intercepts went to the way of the Giants, and pretty close in terms of that time in possession. But for me, given the 4 quarters dominance from the Firebirds, interesting that they were super high on their penalties compared to the Giants.
And there's the ladder as it unfolds halfway through round 4. The Vixens and the Fever undefeated, sitting on the top. Well, sorry, the West Coast Fever have had their first loss to the Melbourne Vixens. That was earlier today, and it was a big margin too. The Adelaide Thunderbirds are sitting there in 3rd position, yet to play their game in this round though, so that is going to continue to move, continue to evolve. Post-game show though will be right up after this. You're watching round 4 netball action on Fox Netball.